Good morning, everybody. Matt Moda here to give you my favorite NBA player prop picks for tonight's NBA betting slate. We are talking Tuesday, November 19th. I'm going to have 4 NBA player prop picks for you guys to lock in for today's NBA betting slate. I'm not calling them bangers today because honestly, they don't deserve the description of a banger at this point in time. It's just been a pretty brutal start to the NBA season that continued yesterday. It's been a mix of bad luck. It's been a mix of bad reads. Yesterday was the same. We were able to cash out Nikola Vucevic 20 plus points. He hit that pretty easily for us, but we lost Grady Dick 20 plus points. We lost Joel Embiid 7 plus first quarter points, and we lost Karl Anthony Towns over 36.5 points plus rebounds. The Embiid one was just a bad look. He looks slow. He looks out of shape. He looks disinterested. I just shouldn't have bet that in the first place. The Grady Dick and the Karl Anthony Towns ones were tough because Dick had 13 points in the first half. I thought we were well on our way to cash that one out. He only scored 2 points in the entire second half. Karl Anthony Towns, and this one was just an absolute brutal beat, had exactly 36, and he did not play the entire fourth quarter because of a blowout against the Wizards. So if he just had like one more minute of playing time, probably would have gotten that extra rebound to cash it out, but he didn't. So yesterday we were 1-3 down 2.15 units on the entire season. That now brings our losses down to the over 9 unit mark, just barely, but still over 9 units. You know, we had a stretch dating back to last week where we were profitable in 5 of 6 days, and we had done a pretty good job at getting ourselves closer to break even. It's been 3 rough days in a row since then, which is just kind of the definition and just kind of encapsulates how this NBA season has gone. But with how close a lot of these plays have gone, like we've only had very close losses. We haven't had very close wins. So hopefully the luck starts to turn around for us. I've gotten nothing but kind comments, which I appreciate you guys for rocking with me. It definitely is frustrating on my end to have these types of down days, but that's all behind us. Today's going to be the start of a hot streak that we were going on. Reminder, like the video, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Yeah. That helps me out a ton. But let's get into these picks. So play number 1. Hornets versus Nets game. I'm taking Ben Simmons, 6 plus assists, minus 125 odds at FanDuel. Now, I'll fully admit, nothing feels worse than clicking submit on a Ben Simmons prop, especially coming from a Sixers fan. But hey, sometimes you got to fight fire with fire, and that's what we're doing here. And honestly, as long as the Nets are not playing on a back-to-back, we can rely on 25 minutes at least for Ben Simmons. And when he's played, he's been a pretty decent playmaker. It's really easy to make fun of him because he refuses to shoot and he just doesn't do anything near the basket. But when he's played, he's been decent from the assist department. He's gotten to at least the 6 plus assist number in 7 of 10 games he's played this year. Once he got to 5, so was very close there. But only twice going over did he even hit exactly 6. So more often than not, he's getting to the 8 plus assist number. So I do think that there is some ladder potential here. So if you wanted to take him to get to 8 assists, I wouldn't hate that. I do think that, again, there is some ladder potential. The most important thing here is his potential assist number. He's averaging over 11 potential assists per game. And the ceiling is what makes it a little bit scary if you were to ladder, because he's only playing the 25 plus minutes, there isn't that much of a ceiling potential. But the 11 potential assist number is very, very good for only needing to get to the 6 assist number. That's kind of why I decided to not ladder things. Only twice this year has Ben Simmons not gotten to double-digit potential assists. And in one of those games, he still got to 6 actual assists. Now, we're not going to bank on that type of conversion rate, but it just kind of shows you that the potential assist number has been there. And for him to get to at least 6 assists, as long as we're getting 10 potential assists, I'll feel pretty good about that and over that number. And this is a very good matchup against the Hornets for how a guy like Ben Simmons is going to rack up assists, right? The Hornets allow the 2nd most points per game to the pick and roll man, the 4th most points per possession to spot up shooters, the 5th most points per game off of a dribble handoff, and the 3rd most points per game off screens. Generally, all those plays are assisted. Now, the dribble handoff can be a little bit dicey because depending on how many dribbles the guy takes off after the handoff, it might not become an actual assist. But more often than not, they are. And all those plays in general are assisted. That makes it a great matchup for the Ben Simmons assist prop. There's also a chance that Ben Simmons is actually going to start tonight. Nick Claxton is going to be out. We'll see if he ends up starting. We might see him play more than the 25 plus minute number. Even if not, really all that matters is that he gets the 25 minutes, which he consistently does when he plays. And when he consistently plays, He consistently gets to 6+ assists. That's a tongue twister, but that's our first play. Ben Simmons, 6+ assists. Next up, picks 2 and 3 are back in the same guy in the Thunder versus Spurs game. Zack Collins. So I'm putting 1 unit on him to get over 22.5 points, rebounds, assists. That's best offered at -120 odds at BetMGM. You can also get -120 at Hard Rock as well, for those of you that use Hard Rock. I'm also going to take him to get 4+ assists for a half unit at +240 odds at FanDuel. Now at Caesars. The last that one, the assist play is at Caesars. Now I'll get into the assist number and why we are targeting that one specifically, but in general, this is a play on increased usage for Zack Collins with Victor Wembanyama out for this game. Now, Wemby's only missed 1 game this year, so it's a 1-game sample size for this year. But in that game, Collins went over the 22.5 PRA with 26 combined. Now, that was mostly on the back of scoring. I think he scored 20 points in that game. And if we're just isolating the matchup against the Thunder itself, it's a slightly better matchup for Collins for his rebound and assist prop. But if you look at his history without Wemby, dating back to last year, his points is significantly more than his increase in usage results to significantly more points. And it's honestly not a terrible matchup against the Thunder for his point prop, despite the fact that the Thunder are so good at guarding centers. And I'm going to get into why, but just to kind of highlight the fact that he scored, how many points he scores. Last 10 games, this obviously, again, 9 of these games date back to last year, so take it with a grain of salt. But the last 10 games that Wemby has missed, Collins has hit at least 23 PRA in 8 of those 10 games. And in one of the games that he missed, he had exactly 22. So that would be another Karl-Anthony Towns level hook, which would be brutal. Just shows you how high how high the floor is in games for Zack Collins when Wemby misses. And of the times he's gone over, he's averaging over 17 points per game in those 10 games as well. But as I mentioned, it's a great matchup for his rebounds and assists, which is why I wanted to include all 3. So basically, if we're just kind of looking at it, Collins alone without Wemby, his point prop is a play. If we're just isolating the matchup, Collins against the Thunder, rebounds and assists would be the play. So I'm combining all 3 with Wemby being out into the matchup. So looking at the Thunder defense, they do a great job limiting points via the pick and roll. Both the pick and roll ball handler and the pick and roll roll man do not score any points against the Thunder. That's why they're generally not a good matchup for center rebound props. They don't give up a ton via post-ups either. However, they give up the second most points per game to spot-up shooters, and that's how Collins scores the majority of his points. Number 1 in terms of where his points come from is actually via the spot-up. Now, he's going to run more pick and roll without Wemby, so the numbers regarding how the Thunder guard rollman does matter. But Collins can spread the floor a little bit. He took 5 games in the last game without Wemby missing. He averages a little over 3 dating back to last year, but he's been shooting a little more this year. So that's the points. As for the rebounds and assists, I mean, great matchup for centers against the Thunder. The Thunder allow the 5th most rebounds per game to centers. But the assist one, I think, is very, very juicy. I think it's a sneaky good play on him to get to 4+ assists. The Thunder allow the 2nd most assists per game to centers. And it's actually a smash spot. Now, I haven't something that I should have looked at prior to tonight. But center assist props perform historically very, very well against the Thunder. 7 straight centers have gone over their assist prop against the Thunder. Now, that includes guys like Jokic, who hit like 16 on an over-under of 8.5. That also includes guys like Ives Missy, guys like Gogo Batadze, guys like Mo Wagner, who are not who are not assist guys like a Jokic, like a Şengün, still hit their assist prop over against the Thunder. And you want to know why they give up so many points to spot-up shooters and why they give up so few points, so little points to the pick-and-roll roll man? It's because they blitz the center. So when the center gets the ball in the post or on a pick and roll, they're going to blitz him. They're not going to give him anything easy. That leaves a ton of kick-out opportunities, mostly to wide open shooters. It's why the Thunder give up the most corner 3-point attempts, or among the most corner 3-point attempts, is because of that style of defense. Now, Collins, he's not Jokic, but he's a decent passer in the high pick and roll, in the high post, that can find these open shooters. And he's gotten, in very limited minutes, I mean, taking out the game that he played last game when he played 25 minutes, he's played like 15 minutes per game, basically, with Wemby. He's gotten to at least 4 assists 3 times, and twice has gotten to 3 assists. So with increased minutes in a good matchup against the Thunder, I could see him getting 4, 5, 6 assists in this game. I could see him getting to about 15 plus points, and the rebound prop 7.5. I mean, that should cash as well, the over. Honestly, I like all three of these props individually. Might as well just combine them into a PRA. That's plays number 2 and 3, the PRA for Zack Collins plus the assists. Last up, third and final pick of the video, Cavs versus Celtics game. Darius Garland, 3+ made 3-pointers, plus 115 odds at FanDuel. Classic system play here, taking your guard 3-point props against the Celtics. I've mentioned it a ton this year. I've mentioned it a ton last year. You're probably sick of me talking about it, but it's all predicated on the drop coverage that the Celtics play when guarding screens. They have an awesome defense. The way they decide to give up points, because even the best defense in the NBA is giving up over 100 points per game, they'll just drop a little bit when guarding the screen, keep everything in front of them. Guards that can pull up from 3-point range can generally have success against the Celtics. That's perfect for Darius Garland. He's been very good this year when pulling up, and he's been very good historically against the Celtics. Obviously, this is all dating back to last year. And last year was a relative down year for Darius Garland and his, he didn't shoot as well last year. He didn't shoot as much last year. He still hit this in 5 of 8 games against the Celtics. But under new head coach Kenny Atkinson, Garland's averaging the most 3-point attempts per 36 minutes of his career. That makes sense. That was the point of emphasis, the coaching emphasis for Kenny Atkinson. But not only is he averaging the most, he's also shooting 42.4% on pull-up 3-pointers. So he's shooting well on the increased volume. And to touch on the Celtics defense a little bit, if you just look up the overall pull-up 3-point attempt numbers against the Celtics, it doesn't make them seem to be a super juicy matchup and not as good as last year. But that's honestly because shooting has increased league-wide. And to kind of give you the context, last year, the Celtics allowed the most pull-up 3-point attempts against them at 11.4 per game. This year, the Celtics are allowing slightly more pull-up 3-point attempts against them per game at 11.6, but that number is down to the 13th most in the NBA as opposed to the most. So 3-point shooting is up a ton this year, but this 3-point prop specifically for Darius Garland does not really take that into account. So we're still getting a really good price on him to make 3-pointers at plus 115 odds. And looking at Garland, if you look at the entire season, he's hit this in 8 of 15 games, so slightly above a 50% hit rate. If you look at recently, he's only hit this in 1 of his last 5 games. That makes it a perfect fade of recent results type of opportunity for his 3-point prop, making this a very good pick, not my favorite. I like all my children equally. I like all these plays equally, but hopefully this one cashes. Hopefully all 4 of our plays cash, and that is all we got. 4 plays for you guys to lock in. Ben Simmons, 6+ assists. Zack Collins, over 22.5 points, rebounds, assists. Zack Collins, 4+ assists specifically. Darius Garland, 3+ made 3-pointers are our 4 plays for today. And that's all we got. I appreciate everybody for watching. Make sure to like the video, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And have a good one.